Hi, Dr. TJ Dixon here, coming to you with a video today about Jesus. We have just had the Christmas 2016 holiday, and for many people, Christians in the world, this is the celebration of the birth of Jesus, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. My message to you today is really about who and what Jesus stood for. Now, there are some people who believe simply that if you believe in Jesus, the man who walked the earth more than 2,000 years ago, and just simply say, well, this guy walked the earth, that is all to it. That's all that you need. And from that, you become part of this elite group of people who gets to be saved or go to heaven. You get to call yourself a Christian. But my message to you today is more about what Jesus really stood for and the essence of how I see Jesus. And I'm going to boil this down to about 5 different messages that I really think Jesus came with. Of course, there might be others, but these are my top 5. And messages that I think we can use today as human beings, regardless to what religion we practice or not, regardless to what faith we are, what country we're from, what language we speak, what gender we are. These are just really great things I think we can use in order to live our best lives. So number 1. First of all, I believe Jesus Christ really just represents love. And I think that love is something he represents not just over 2,000 years ago, but still represents today. Jesus is love. And what does that mean, that Jesus is love? First of all, Jesus taught us, as part of love, to forgive. And why forgive? Because we do all sorts of things all the time that can hurt one another, that may offend someone, that might make someone feel bad. And so Jesus constantly throughout the Bible and throughout his time here on earth, talked about forgiveness. And we can use that to live our best lives, because maybe there's someone who says something that offended you, or maybe there's someone who hurt your feelings at some point. When we forgive, we free ourselves to love more. Maybe not be as engaged with that person who hurt us, because sometimes, yes, we need to draw healthy boundaries. And I did have a video about forgiveness before. That doesn't mean that you stay engaged with that person, but you do release them, you bless them when you move on with your life. So forgiveness was a huge one that Jesus talked about and represented. Another thing that Jesus talked about a lot in how he lived that can help us live our best lives is letting people be who they are. He simply loved people right where they were at. He didn't require them to be something different from what they are or how they were. He just got into a relationship with them. If they melded, if they jived, he dealt with them. And he loved them just as they were. He didn't tell the men he chose who were fishermen that they couldn't be fishermen, they had to not smell like fish, and they had to change their clothes and cut their beards and do all those things before they could go hang out with him. No, he just loved them exactly where they were and let them be who they are. And that's something that we can take to live our best lives. The people in our lives, do the people in our lives need to change how they look, how they sound, how they dress in order to deal with us? Are we trying to control them in that aspect? Jesus didn't try to control people in that aspect. Whatever way you came, Jesus took you exactly how you were, and you move forward from there. Did people change as a result of dealing with him? Absolutely. But it was on their choice, not because he said they had to change. A third thing is Jesus, that goes along with that. Jesus didn't try to control people. He allowed people to choose, once they even were engaged with him, to have their own free will. This is something that is huge in relationships. If we want to have healthy relationships, if you're trying to control someone or make someone do exactly how you want, you're not allowing them to have their free will. You're telling them that they have to do things a certain way to please you. If that person, even if that person complies, but it's not really the essence of who they are, what they want to do, you just have someone you're controlling. It does not mean that you necessarily have a healthy relationship, because you've taken away that person's free will choice. And that is something that even Jesus, who many say was God here on earth, he didn't even do that. So are you, if we're in relationships with people and we're trying to change them, make them not be able to choose what they want to choose, we are in essence not creating the most healthy relationships. Our relationships will not be well, and that will cause us not to lead our best lives. So to live our best lives, allow people to have their free will choice and not try to control them. Number 4, walking the talk. Jesus walked the talk. Jesus was not a hypocrite. Have you ever been in a relationship where maybe you told someone they shouldn't do something, but then you turn around and do the same exact thing? How did that end up? Probably not so well. And oftentimes as humans, we will see what's going on with this other person. We might talk about how bad someone else is or something they're not doing well, but we're never looking at ourselves to see, are we doing the exact same thing, just maybe change the circumstances a little bit. People being hypocrites have been known to destroy relationships so much. People might not argue about it, or maybe they do, but at the end of the day, the relationships are still compromised because we are not walking the talk. We are judging someone else, but not truly being what we are telling them not to be. And number 5, being authentic. Jesus himself was very authentic. Exactly what he said he was going to be and do, he came here to the earth to be and do. Whoever he wanted to hang out with, that's who he dealt with. Who he wanted to be his disciples, no matter what other people felt about that, that's exactly who were his disciples. He also lived his purpose. He knew what his purpose was, and he did not do anything to change that purpose or challenge that purpose. He allowed people, he really was who he said that he was going to be. He didn't let other people's opinions dissuade him. He didn't allow the fact that the Pharisees or other people, even his own disciples, didn't like some of the people he dealt with or talked to. He truly was his own person in the flesh. He was his own person, his own man, and truly was who he said he was. He didn't allow anybody else to make him be any different. And so how that applies to us is when we are authentic, when we really are who we say we are, when we don't allow someone else to dictate what our purpose is or tell us our purpose shouldn't be what it is, when we don't allow people to tell us who we need to hang out with or how we need to talk or dress or think or feel or be, and we really walk in our authenticity, we live our best lives, and we live lives as he lived life. And certainly for what his purpose and plans were, he lived his best life here on earth. So again, this is another great example that Jesus gave us on how to live our best lives. So to recap, in order for us to live our best lives, we want to forgive because it sets us free to receive other great things, more great things in our life. We want to let people be them, allow them to be authentic, and love them where they are at. Number 3, to allow people to keep their free will choice and have their free will choice and not try to control them. Number 4, we want to walk the walk. Whatever it is you're touting, walk the walk. Number 5 is us being authentic and living for our purpose, dealing with who we feel and we're called to deal with, and not let opinions of other people dissuade us from how we should think, feel, be, or do. So there you have it. 5 ways to be like Jesus in order to live our best lives. They may not be easy, and certainly even those of us who are practicing that every day to live our best lives, sometimes it can be challenging. But those are 5 ways to live our best lives. Now, if you like this video, please subscribe below. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. The more subscriptions, the more videos that I can bring to you, and the more YouTube likes it. And also, if you want to know more about the work that I do, if you would like to work with me as your coach, if you're interested in the book I wrote, or any of the other work I do, my workshops, speaking engagements, please contact me through www.drtjdixon.com or leave a comment below. Either way, thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your time off if you have time off during this holiday season, and may you live your best life.